Hey everybody, just give me 1 second here. I realized as I was pushed live that my tripod is not actually, I was taking pictures so it was bent at a weird angle, so give me 1 second here and give me a minute to pull up my iPad and we'll get going. I'm a little late. I was finishing a book. I had like an hour left with like 55 minutes until this went live. So I definitely had I wanted to finish my book, and yeah, so sorry for being a couple minutes late here, but give me 1 second to get my iPad pulled up, and I'm gonna get right to it because I would love to be done a little bit early so that I have a minute to do some more reading tonight. So those of you that don't know, one of my good friends is Monica from Peanut Butter Taco, and she's got a readathon going this week. And so if you've never done a readathon, it's you have like prompts for like things in books that you hang on a second, let me just type this real quick. Hey Trina. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna be working on I'll finish that readathon thoughts in a second. I've got a lot of work to do tonight. I'm working on my June layout. So if you haven't been here before, this year I decided, since there's 12 Taylor Swift albums, I would do one Taylor Swift album per month for the theme. So I'm not really going in an order. I'm kind of going by vibes. So like January was Reputation. February was Speak Now. March was Life of a Showgirl. April was Fearless. And May was Debut. So June, we are going with a lover theme because Cruel Summer and Pride and all that good stuff. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight. And that means there's a front and back page that's decorated, and then there's a calendar as well. So that's like 6 pages of stuff. So I would love some extra time to do some more reading tonight. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay out my like cover page, and then we're going to do some stickers with some Taylor Swift stickers that I have, and then we'll work on the calendar and all that. One of the things I did kind of beforehand, because this is always kind of super boring to do on live, is that I made a mood tracker out of the Christmas Classic stencils. I used a little, I thought I just had it, but apparently I didn't leave it out. But I used a Christmas light, just one of them, and traced all over, and then kind of drew the wires in. So this is gonna be my mood tracker for June. And then on the other inside page, I do a one good thing a day. So while I'm at it, I might as well just do that really quick. I think I'm going to use this like snake into butterflies as like the kind of like this. And this will be kind of the stenciling on this page. But anyway, how are you doing, Trina? So back to the readathon thoughts while I'm doing this. If you've never done a readathon before, what it is it's like a certain number of like prompts, and what prompts are just basically like themes or items or things in books that like, I mean, the idea is to kind of either diversify your reading or to like get you to read more, and either by like picking different books or just kind of having a focus for the week, to be honest. So this readathon, her theme was, it's called Books Ahoy. So it's like a nautical-ish readathon. And so, like the purpose, like some of the prompts are like a, what are you reading, by the way? The prompts are like, this one is like a book. It has a book included in it. It's got, water on the cover, like stuff like that. So, I've been saving so many books, that I have been like itching to start reading. So, and one of them actually came out today. So that was the one I actually was just finishing because, I was at work. I'm trying to do a mixture of both physical and audiobooks. And I actually, for the first time, which I'd never done this, did like an immersive read where you have the audiobook while you're reading the physical book. And so, oh, nice. And so I did that yesterday with, Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. And it was actually really fun. I had never done that before. So then I actually ordered one of the ones that I'd been planning on just straight audioing that I have to read. This is like going to be my next book that I read is, Our Secret Summer by R.S. Gray. So then in addition to that, I also did, I was just finishing Dolly All the Time. And then, and that was good. I think, actually, like, I thought too, because I know, like, a couple of my friends do this a lot, and I'm just like, I don't know if I like, it doesn't seem like something that would be cool, like, that I would be into, but I actually really enjoyed it, because I struggle sometimes with, like, wanting to kind of, like, go faster or, like, skip ahead when I read, and I felt like having the actual, like, text going by definitely made it, I don't know, I liked it. I enjoyed it. So I bought the book that I was just planning on or on audioing. I actually bought to be able to continue to do that on this one as well. I was kind of surprised I enjoyed it, actually. I'm not going to lie. So I finished, this was my third book that I finished, because I started Our Perfect Storm, and then I read and listened to that. And somebody had a sprint last night, or on Sunday night at midnight, and I read like 140 pages. And then got up really early and got to like 200, and then kept going throughout the day. So I finished that book. And then I started The Shippers by Catherine Center last night and finished that while I was at work because I just listened to that. And then, like, right away realized that Dolly All the Time came out today. I was like, okay. And the intro of it, or in the description on Libro FM, was like, blah, 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 returns to her hometown. And I was like, well, that's one of the prompts. I'm doing that right then and there. So I, like, went right there and bought it, or used my credit. And so I actually just finished that one. And now I have to decide what I'm going to start. I think I'm going to start Our Secret Summer. But my problem is that I want to do that as an immersive read, but I'm not going to be able to do that very much tomorrow, so I might just start it tonight and then kind of put it on the back burner. I'm not sure. I haven't decided. I just don't know what the next book is. I've held out for like a ton of books for this readathon, and now I feel like I'm still scrambling because, like, I didn't write any of them down and keep a running list. I was just like, oh, I'll save that for the readathon. Oh, I'll save that for the readathon. And then just, like, I'm like, what were all the books that I was planning on reading? The good thing is that the first one I read, Our Perfect Storm, I think, I mean, arguably the first line is, like, one of the prompts is a great first line. I don't know that I would say it's, like, a great first line, but it's, like, it was intriguing. It was, like, I met George, I think was his name, George or Georgie, the day my mother disappeared. And I'm like, that's not a great first line, but it's like definitely catching, right? So if I have to, I can use that for that prompt. So like realistically, I could technically say I'm done with it, but I don't want to do that. I want to like try to get only use, if anything, like a book for 2 prompts at most. Okay, so very quickly, these are my inside of my monthly pages. And this will be, on this one will be my mood tracker, and on this one will be one good thing a day. So like I write down something, the great first line one. The one that I have kind of set aside for it is, ooh, I can't think of the name of it, but it's a light blue cover with a stack of books. It's like, I think it's This Book Made Me Think About You, but I could be like misremembering the title. I started to read it like 2 weeks ago, and the first line was something about like reading and books and like bookish people. And I was like, ooh, that's a good first line. And I was like, okay, I'm stopping. So I stopped, but then I haven't picked up yet. Cause I feel like, part of me feels like I want to do all like nautical, summery, beachy books. And that's not necessarily that. So I don't know what to do. Like I said, if I have to use the Carly Summer one, I can. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is my cover page. I just realized I don't have, shoot, I don't think I have any markers here. You have to give me 1 second here. Good for, but yeah, so I have to decide, like, I feel like, thank you, it's gonna be kind of the vibe for this month, because they're all like pinks and baby blues and like a little bit of purple and yellow, and that's kind of the theme. So yeah, so I feel like I could technically be done with the readathon, but I'm gonna keep pushing. All right. Okay, so each month is going to get a friendship bracelet header. So let's do that really quick. And I'll be smart and actually washi this down. This isn't quite straight though. When I'm lining up these, I like to use the lines of my dot grid to kind of make an attempt to make it as straight as possible. I don't really necessarily care that it's like perfectly straight, but it's always good to feel like it's okay. So like I said, I'm using these friendship bracelet headers on each of the months to kind of like tie it together. I thought it would be really fun at the end of the year to be able to like flip through each month and have like them all be very different, but like have that common. Well, one thing I wish I would have done is like kept track of where I put this each month and put it on the exact same one, but hindsight. We're too far into the year now to make that an issue. So then I will kind of insert these with the, to do the letters. And then I kind of really quickly just fill it in with my pen. So what books are you doing? Are you doing the readathon, Trina? And what books are you planning on, and or have you read already? Because, like, ideally, I would love to do, like, a specific book for each prompt. Not necessarily for, like, the writing the review one, or the share picture one, but, like, the other, 7, I would love to do. You know, again, that's not always possible. I try to, like, start out really fast on readathons, but sometimes I kind of, like, hit a brick wall and then don't read for several days, so that's why I like to start out with, like, a book that covers, like, I try to start out with a book that covers as many prompts as possible, and then the next book to fill, like, the other prompts that I feel like I didn't hit. But I feel like this time there's so many books that I want to read that, like, that I've, like, really been waiting, like, some of them, actually one of them I got, there's a semi-local bookstore, and I know you're local to me, Trina, but if anybody's watching on replay, there's a book that's semi-local to me that they did, like, a looking at the boat. Like I said, I'm trying to read all books that, like, have either, like, a beach or an ocean or a boat theme, so, like, I feel like that's one of the ones I did not struggle with at all. Some matching themes, yeah. Anyway, there's one bookstore around here that did, and I don't even know if they're still doing this, but they, like, sent you a mystery book the 1 month. I signed up for 1 month. I haven't really paid attention if they kept doing it, but the first book was, If All Else Fails, maybe? It was, like, a book about, like, it was, like, a book set on a cruise ship kind of thing, or on a yacht or whatever. And that was in, like, February, and I was like, I'm gonna save it. Or I had been meaning to save it for, like, a beach vacation, so, like, when I went to Florida or whatever. But then, after that point, I already knew Monica was doing, like, a nautical-themed readathon, and I was like, oh, wait, no. I'm gonna need that for the readathon. So, literally, I've had a book that I've been saving since, like, February. And then a couple of the ones, like, the one I just finished reading came out today. But I knew it was coming out, so I was, like, waiting on it. And then, ooh, this is way too bright. I hope these are not all that bright. And then, sorry, I'm, like, completely losing my train of thought. That one came out today, and then the Catherine Centers one, I think, was the 19th, so that was last week, so that's not too bad. And then, like, the Carly Fortune and the R.S. Gray one actually both came out on the same day, and that was early in May. So, like, I've been waiting definitely all month, at least, for these. Oh, these are really bright. Not quite the pastel that I was hoping for. So there's our friendship bracelet header. I'm trying to be good. I started, like, organizing my stencils. I put them all in a pile. I really need to, like, go through and put them all back where they belong. Yeah, I've definitely been ready for this readathon for a while. I, like, had a momentary panic attack that I did this upside down or something. Now, let me do this. So the next thing I'm going to do is make a little mini calendar. I'm going to be off of the comments for a second. I like to look at a calendar so I don't mess this up. I'm pretty sure it starts on, yeah, Monday start, right? Then we'll do blue, and that's 5 weeks. So let's move this down slightly. Now it was the first 3 days of this week. So then I'm just using this kind of like an at a glance calendar. Honestly, like, do I use this? Not really, but this is something I could probably leave out, but I kind of like having it, like, if I don't want to open up to my big calendar, I can at least see, like, what next Saturday's date is, you know what I mean? Okay. All right, let me get back to iPad. All right. Now the next thing I like to do is kind of start with like the bigger stencils that I want to put in the background. I'm just going with like an overall lover theme. Probably gonna do like some hearts. I'm definitely gonna do the lover clouds. I'm thinking about doing a little bit of the lover house, but not like the whole thing. Although the whole thing would be really cool. But what I'm thinking of is, instead of like coloring each individual section in, is maybe doing like clouds and then doing the lover house here, but like, hang on, just like with the clouds in the background and making the entire thing like a black and white outline type thing. I took a huge stack of stencils out, so now I have to like rifle through them to find the ones. Definitely want our guitar and our heart hands. Maybe the shape of London. And this is the one we're going to actually use for our calendar. Here's our lover house. Here's what I'm looking for. So what I'm thinking of doing is like kind of doing the clouds and then doing the lover house kind of an outline, just like a black and white outline instead of the different colors. I think that's what we might do on this page, and then this page will kind of do more of how I've been doing it. So these stencils are a 2-piece stencil. I like to use a pink and then maybe kind of 2 colors of pink and a light blue. And how I use these stencils is that I like to put the first stencil down and kind of where I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do this one right here is the first one I'm going to do. And I will kind of block it off the best I can. And then I'm going to start with kind of the lighter color. So I like to do the blue first and then accent it with the pink. But of course, like if you're doing, you know, just like a regular cloud, you could do like a gray. These kind of remind me more of like a sunset-y cloud. Also, sorry if you guys are hearing car noises. I've got our windows open here because it's like too hot to like not have your windows open, but it's not hot enough really yet to have your air on. So it's like, but my office is upstairs and it's like the hottest room in the house. So it's a rough time here. Okay, so then I will take the other stencil and line it up. And then as you can see, it'll kind of do this. We're going to hold both colors. And then we can keep going. So the other thing you could do is pre-line them up. And what I like to do on this is like start with a piece here. And then like actually line them up. Add another piece here that'll kind of tape this one to that other piece of tape. This washi is not sticking. Thank you. Kind of give it a little stick together. And then we're gonna go here that'll fit this next one like onto that. I think I'm gonna actually add a little bit of gray in here too. So then what I do here is I just kind of like fold that one sheet up. And now I'm gonna use this gray one. I'm gonna go a little lighter on this one. And this is like trying to peel up. So, shoot. And this is why I would like to wash my paper down. Okay. Get a little sheet of washi. Luckily this one is pretty easy-ish to line up. So then we'll, of course, this kind of... But again, the stencil's pretty easy to line up, so... But definitely if you're going to do this method, use one that's a little stickier washi tape. So then I'm just going to actually kind of take a combination of the pink and the blue here to give it like a little color depth. And you can see kind of how it like goes in together. And I didn't realize it was the same cloud. I meant to use two different ones. So actually to kind of counteract that, we're going to go over with this little smaller one. And then we'll start with, again, you can use kind of like a different color combo. And this one, I could kind of go with the gray and then maybe more of the pink. And then now that we're like on the bigger part of this, we'll take these nice big ones, line them up, flip this up, and now in this one I think we'll do the pink, but I'm gonna go a little lighter because I feel like the pink's maybe a little bit too much. And this just is a matter of using your brush with like a different pressure. And then again, we'll add a little bit of gray, add a little bit of blue. I think I actually might even add just a touch of yellow in here, just to give it a little more. And then blend it back out with this gray. And again, this is something you can do kind of like as dark or as light as you'd like it, kind of depending on the mood that you're going for. then of course you can also use it without any layering at all. So like if you just want a nice little cloud without kind of that depth, or if you decide after the fact that you do want that, you can just line it up and kind of go back in with whatever colors you wanted. You could also do this like a two-tone of the same color, go very light with the bottom shade, and then make this like highlight one a lot darker. Okay, so we'll leave that there for now. It's very hot in this office. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now we'll use the lever house. And then what we'll do is we'll use our stickers over it. Okay, just like size-wise, I'm gonna put the very bottom kind of off of the paper. So then I will just kind of make a quick outline of this. And if you're wondering how this will fit on a normal notebook page, this will actually fit on one. I've trimmed this page down a little bit because I have the, so they can turn in on each other without like hitting each other or like having a weird fold. And then I'll do my best to kind of washi this inside piece down. Okay. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trace all of these. So we're just going to trace these all really quickly, or not quickly. And last but not least, we have this one. So this is like the lever house, and then I'm not sure. I don't really want to color it in by each section. It's like this is how it would be. I guess I could. I don't really want to though. I'm trying to think like, do I even have the colors? I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna let it go, and then once I put stencils or stickers and stuff over it, it'll look a lot different. Okay, so then on this side, I want to kind of lean more into like the lyrics, hearts, obviously. We've got a London to do. We've got the Archer, got a stoplight. Do a silhouette of Taylor. This pattern, that's good. We could do these. I do actually really like these. So I want to put at least one of these in there. And maybe some like red and blue stars for like Miss Americana. Okay, let's pull this page out of the way for a second. I'm gonna start with like just some like very light background pink hearts. Just to kind of get the lover vibe right off the bat. And I'm gonna kind of avoid the June part. And then I will just kind of do like the red and blue. Red and blue here. There's blue. Do some blue. Some blue stars. Let's grab red. That's like for Miss Americana. And then trying to keep the stencils that I use handy and close by so that it's easier to show you guys after. And then when I go to take pictures, obviously, too. Let's do that one since it's like the archer. And then maybe like a string of Christmas lights. And I do really like this place. I don't know what to call it. Alright. Let's do this pink lattice, like... because I want to do kind of the same thing on this page as I did on the other with a couple of layouts, so I do kind of want like a stronger background. And then let's also pull this archer one in, but I think I'm going to do that in like either maybe a purple, like a very light purple. Oh my goodness, it's so hot here. I'm going to do more like a lilac. Okay, and then the next thing we will do, like I said, I want to do kind of like a string of Christmas lights, but I think I'm going to actually just kind of stick with the like some of these like line drawings. So let's do that with this, and that'll kind of tie it over to the other page, plus kind of the bottom of this page. And if you're looking for the May blog, I still haven't written it. The blogs that I do for these are honestly like they take a really long time to write. Just because I try to like go through and be very thorough with it. So I'm planning on when I do this one to also do the May blog. I've got the video and everything saved, so shouldn't be too much of an imposition there or hassle. Let's do one. No, let's not. Oh, there they are over here. I do want to do one of these pink guys, really, really dark. It is so hot here, guys. All right, there's another like 2 things I want to put on this, and I just define them. And then we'll do stickers. Because we all know that is the best part. Maybe 3 things, actually. Over here? Yeah, they're over here. Stoplight and do 1 of 2 there. Okay. So let's do her guitar. So we'll kind of use that here. And kind of use the heart as like the outline of it to color it in. Because that was definitely a big part of the arrows to her. And then we'll do the London here. I think that we might actually, let's just color that, or let's just stencil that one in. Do that with our nice blue. And we will outline that one too. Okay, and then, oh, I did want to do the archer. Let's do 1 dark one. We're just going to outline this one, I think. Okay, so there's that, and then the last thing we'll do is, yeah, let's do this one, because this was kind of like an iconic lover pose. No, it wasn't, that was wrap. Oops. Dang it. This one. This is the one we want to do. We'll use a sticker to go over that. Okay. So now that we have this all stenciled in, ooh, the stoplight. That was the other thing I wanted to do. Oops. Let's put this right here. And then I do want to grab 1 heart stencil that has smaller hearts. That's too big. Yeah, that's slightly too big. These ones might be good size. And we're going to use these to make like the traffic light stops. Okay, so that is our front. Now we've got a ton of cool stickers that we can add in here. I definitely want to add this lever, like album cover font on here. And then, let's see. Got this to cover up for sure. Oh, this is going to go on the inside though. I do remember wanting to save that. But we do have the Lover House sticker, and we have the 16th and Cornelia sign that we could add like right here. Actually, I don't like that because it blends in. Let's do here maybe. Let's start giving this side a little color. And then definitely want a lot of the dice. I love this part. I love that you need to calm down video, so I definitely want to put that one in there. And here's our stat plate, which actually has those same hearts, which is perfect. Let's see. Actually, I think I want to flip this, and we'll use this on the inside. And I'm going to use the bigger sticker with "You Need to Calm Down" actually on here. But I'm going to trim it slightly, so let me grab my scissors. I do love the Devil's Roll the Dice one. I actually almost did that for my the mood tracker. Let's see what else. Let's use the Archer. We definitely gotta add in Kitty Cat in. Open. We'll add in some of the cartoon clouds too. And then this is another piece I really love from this album. We'll throw in Cornelia Street in here. And then we can add in some of the flowers. Ooh, I don't know which one I use. Add in some of the butterflies. Maybe let's like layer this. Kind of like add in like a little Eras Tour montage right here. Let's throw a bow in there. Love these. Put these like in the corner. And then, like I said, the dice are one of my favorite parts. We'll throw those in. Let's see what else we have. Love this quote too, so let's make sure this is in here. Let's throw that there. And then let's add this in, but I kind of want to add this like really fun texture in here. So let's move this to up here. I'm gonna throw this in here, and then we're gonna put this quote, kind of like cut around it. These colors are like the book for the book club book that this book made me think of you. That was the one I was thinking about for a good first line. Yes, they are. That's one of the ones I have like kind of as my, I don't know, backup plan, but that's what I was thinking of for using for like the best first line or whatever the prompt is. I love this, but I think I'm gonna use this on the inside. Okay. We'll leave it here now. Maybe we'll add more before. So there's the outside pages. Now let me grab my actual bullet journal. We'll put those to the side for now. And now for this one, I actually do need to grab that page so I can see the calendar in front of me. Give me 1 second, I gotta grab an eraser. Okay. Now, for the calendar, we've got 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 4 of those. So we'll do 3 on this side. That'll be a 5-weeker. And you know what, since I do have that like monthly header that I want to use. Where did I put it? Right here. Let me kind of like measure that really quick so I know how far down to start. Okay. So this is one of our calendar builders. This is actually the heart brush boxes. And I don't know where I put my roll of washi tape that I was using to wash everything down with. There it is. And I'm going to actually completely washi off this side. Since on this side of the page we only need 3. We need 5 weeks, 3, 4, 5. So we're actually going to put this up a little bit. Or that's where I wanted it, like this. And then I will put it that way. This one is a little trickier because there is like a little bit of an overlap there. So try my best to get as close as I can there. And then the first day is also actually wash it off here. Okay, so now I'm going to use that same watercolor technique I kind of use with every month. So take just kind of a few different colors that mix and match well. I'm going to actually start with the brightest pink and just, this is going to look a little bit like a hot mess at first. And at this one, you just kind of have to trust the process. I'm just kind of making sure that this is in every box. And once I'm done with that, go to the next one. Let me mix this up a little bit. And like some of these boxes, like some of the colors I'll put a lot in, and then like another one, there won't be a lot. You can do it like on the opposite side. This kind of makes it, I don't know, I call it like a watercolor effect, because I think that it does give it that like vibe of like it being watercolor painted, especially when you use like a brush box stencil, because those edges are like kind of less defined. And you'll see when I pull it up how that looks. And then the last one, I kind of like to go through and make sure like all the white areas are covered, that it's kind of blended in, especially around the edges. Like if there's a little bit of white in the middle, I don't mind as much, but I do want like that whole heart kind of defined. And you can definitely go back in with any other colors, like if you feel like there's not a lot of blue in here, or there's a box that blue is missing from. I know this looks kind of crazy, but I promise once I like have this all blended, it'll make sense. So that's how it kind of comes out. And then on this page, we're gonna do all 4 boxes. Oops. I'm going to try to line this up the best that I can. And I will keep this along the bottom. And then this month we only have 4, or this side of the month we only have 4. These here. We do have all the way across. And this is just based on the calendar. So I know I need one side. I'm going to have 4 boxes of each, and one I'm going to have 3. And then I usually kind of base which side has 4 and which side has 3 based on how the week is like lining up. So like on this one where like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday had like 5 weeks of dates, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday all had 4. That's why I did it this way. It just makes it easier to not have to like change it up midweek or whatever. But you totally can. Like that's totally a preference thing too. And the good thing about this technique is like, number 1, it comes together fast. Number 2, like you can kind of make it look a little messy because it just looks purposeful. So I find this is a really good, like, if you're afraid when you stencil it's not going to look good, this is a great one to practice on, because it honestly, almost everything looks good in this. Like if you're very heavy-handed, it's just gonna be a little darker. And the colors blend together really well. I just find it an easy technique. You know what, honestly, if you're scared of messing up, like the best thing I would say is to grab some paper and just try it. Like you don't have to do it in your planner first. That's the great thing, is that it's not like stickers where once you use it, it's done. You could take a piece of paper, take an old planner, like a planner that's out of date or that you missed a few months in, and just practice. And that's very easy to do too. So like the great thing about stenciling is the reusability of it. So, you know, you could practice all you want in a random notebook, some scrap piece of paper on the back of spam mail. Like you can do all that. And so, you know, the like messing up at first, like obviously like once you transition your planner, there's still the fear that you're gonna mess up. But I have found the more I stencil, the less scared I am of doing that, because you kind of start to learn that, like, number one, like, mess ups are going to happen. Like, I'm going to ink bleed here. I'm going to get some random things. I'm going to put something in the wrong place. But I feel like a lot of times we spend so much time worrying about that it, like, I don't know, in some of the ways it steals our joy of creativity. And the best thing that I have found to combat that is, number one, to just do it. I know that's easy enough to say, like, oh, just do it. But the more you do it, the more confidence you'll have in, like, knowing that you have the right techniques and that you have the experience not to mess up, but also that, like, mess ups happen. And you'll start learning how to, like, cover those. So, like, for instance, on this one, like, I know I have this long sheet, so, like, I didn't really care that bled, because I'm going to put a sticker over it. You could put some more stenciling over it. You can, you know, do things like a sand eraser. Like, the more I've tried stuff, the more techniques I've found to cover up my mistakes. So, it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, if you're scared to mess up and you're, like, very tense when you stencil and, like, you're worried about it, it's gonna be a lot more likely that you will. So, like, I definitely recommend just trying it. And I know that's like just do it is a very easy thing to say when you're not doing it, or when, like, you know. But like I said, the best thing that I would do, you could even, like, if you have sticker paper, you could even, like, stencil on sticker paper and then cut that out and put it down, like, as your background. There's definitely ways that you can kind of, like, build your confidence, is what I'm saying. And like I said, I think the best way is that just grab some junk mail or some printer paper, an old planner, anything like that, and just start stenciling. Because until you try it, you're gonna always be afraid of it. Alright, I think we've got so many stickers. I think I'm gonna kind of keep the stenciling at a minimum. This is a monthly kit from Caffeine Queens, and I really wanted to include it because I loved this header. I'm just gonna cut it short here. Brushes, diapers, which is better for me to practice with? The diapers, I think you mean daubers probably. I would try both and decide, like, see which one you're more comfortable with. I personally like the brushes more. I figured. Personally, I like the daubers more. But that's a personal preference. Ooh, let's see if we can. Eek. I would, like, if you're practicing, I would practice with both. I personally think that the daubers can have this, like, tendency to leave, like, a circular line where you start. And I don't personally like that. I also feel like the brushes just seem easier for me to use. But that's not going to be, it might not be your experience. So it's important you kind of, you know, like, that's a personal preference. I usually recommend brushes, just because I think there's less of like an entry to them. There's less room to mess up at first, or in general. I also think that like, brushes will give you a lighter color, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, because I think it's better to, like, put multiple layers of a light color on than, like, one dark color and it to be not as dark as it should be. When it's, like, too dark, you can't make it darker, right? But when you have your stuff and you have it like, you have it I usually don't use monthly numbers. I feel like this is going to take me forever. When you have it, like, lighter, you can just keep adding color until it's the darkness you want. So that's my personal preference. If you want to get a really dark color like the daubers, but I would definitely, like I said, just try them out and see what you're the most comfortable with, because that's the important thing. Like, what I like, I tend to use, the ones I use the most are definitely these kind of brushes, just because I tend to do, other than at my desk, the other place that I plan the most is, you would know this, but it's Scrappy. So, like, kind of at other places. So, like, those are the easiest to travel with. And so, that just tends to be why I do that the most. I do like the oval brushes. I think they're, like, the easiest to get, like, a decent amount of color, but also not have that, like, circling line on them. But it's ultimately, like, if you have them both, I would just try them both. Try the same layout with them both, you know? Grab a couple pieces of paper, use the same stencil, and see which one makes it easier. I used diaper wipes to clean my stencils through at first. I was like, okay, you got diaper wipes, good job. Like, but yeah, I think the best thing to do is just to try it. Best paper. Again, this is going to be a personal preference. Depending on the inks that you're using is really going to be the thing that's going to, like, determine the paper wise, right? I personally recommend the Tim Holtz Distressed Oxide. It's important that it's oxide. It's not important that it is. The other ones will work, but the oxides are the ones that will not bleed, and they very, very, very seldomly ghost. Really, the only paper I've ever seen ghosting on is, like, Tomo River paper, but they won't even bleed through that. The other kind of distressed inks and other kinds of inks can and will bleed through, especially if it's a dye ink. The oxides, I think, are the most forgiving. They're best for beginners. They're best for blending, and I think they work the best in planners. And in that case, like, I would just test it on the paper. I personally use, for planning, yeah, these are the Tim Holtz Distressed Oxides. There's two kinds. There's a regular distress ink from Tim Holtz. It's got a black outside. The oxides are gray, and the oxides now also come in minis too, which is nice. And that's, like, what I would recommend for people starting out, to, like, building their like, ink collections. But I use, paper-wise, I use an Archer and Olive notebook, so I think it's 120 GSM. I'm not 100% positive, but I just have so many Archer and Olives. That's what I use. but that's the one that I find to be good. Let's do this. And then we'll also add the lover house in here. Maybe right in the middle. And then let's see what else we can add. We'll do the stoplight, obviously. Can use that little floater. Let's pick this one up real quick. Oh no. Another thing about this is that it's a great background and it's a great kind of a base that you can take like sticker kits that you have and kind of, I don't know, in a way like extend them a little bit. And I find that is great at this time when like obviously everything in the world is so expensive. Do my kitty back in. Let's do this one. Alright, I think that's enough. I think I poured in as many stickers as I possibly could. Okay, so then the last thing we'll do is really quickly just put this all together. I think I've got this page already done, so I don't have to worry about that. And to do this, I'm going to use tip and tape from Lauren Phelps. If I can pull it out of this little caddy thing I have here. Alright, let me do one really quick little repacking of all my inks. Excuse me. Okay. So then, like I said, the last thing we'll do is we'll use this tip and tape from Lauren Phelps Designs. I did this like a little bit of cleaning the other day and I like taped this down to store it better, and now it's like too taped. Of course. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut 2 lengths of this. And this is basically just how I'm going to attach my 2 pages to the notebook. This stuff is awesome, but I am the worst at applying it. No matter how straight I think I have it, it's never perfectly straight. And it's so annoying because I can't do it right. Like, even when I think I nailed it, I'm like, oh, that was too far over now. I'm gonna try doing it this way. Never tried doing it this way. Ooh, this might be the way to do it. I definitely need to crease it though. I think I put the tape too far over the bend line. But that was pretty easy. I like that actually. Did I do lever? Oh, I did do lever here. Okay, good. All right. Last page. And the last little bit. Definitely need to do this little crease a little bit more, but applying it was way easier than it usually is, so I think I might stick with that method. Okay, so that is our whole layout. Let me just run you through it real quick because it was good. Okay, so there is our front pages, like our cover page. We have the lover house. We've got some good stickers. This is our one good line a day. And then, of course, our monthly calendar and our mood tracker. So there is that. And with that, I'm gonna get off of here a little bit early tonight because, like I said, I want to hop in the shower and have a little bit of time to read tonight. So I will post pictures of this. I will hopefully get both May and June vlog up here pretty soon. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you guys that are doing the readathon get a lot of good reads in, a lot of 5-star reads. And yeah, I will be back, I believe, next Tuesday night. I don't think I have anything. So if that's the case, I will be back next Tuesday night. If not, I'll reschedule it next week. But the next 2 weeks are a little bit chaotic. But after that, I'm hoping to settle into the summer and got a lot of things planned and a lot of things I want to do. So yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.